Are you happy right now? When you wake up in the morning, do you feel grateful or do you just wake up? Another day passing by. Yesterday was the same as today. Tomorrow will be the same as today. What's left in your life right now? Do you know the story of Exodus? There was a first generation that came out of Egypt. There was a second generation, born in the wilderness. The first generation had everything. They saw the Red Sea split in half. They tasted the miracle of manna falling from heaven. They experienced God at Mount Sinai. 2 million people marching out together. Can you imagine how magnificent that was? But how did it end? They all died in the wilderness. Why? Because they abandoned the principles. Look at the second generation. Children born during escape, born in the wilderness, never saw civilization. All they saw was sand. Education was poor. Everything was lacking. But they held on to one principle. And what happened? They won. They conquered Canaan. They crossed the Jordan River. They brought down the walls of Jericho, quietly, obediently, marching 7 times around the city. What does this tell us? Conditions don't matter. Do you feel inadequate right now? Did you not grow up in a good environment? No degree, not enough skills, no money. It's okay. Even if you're disadvantaged, it's okay. You just need to hold on to one thing, a principle. Hold on to one principle, and you can rise. On the other hand, do you have everything? Nothing lacking. Feel like you can't fail. But if you abandon the principle, what happens? You collapse. That's what happened to the first generation. Same with us. We're lacking and weak. Don't analyze that. Right now, in this moment, hold on to the principle. That moment changes everything. Do you know the 10 Commandments? Many people feel the 10 Commandments are like rules. First commandment, second commandment, third commandment. You must do this, you must do that. Feels oppressive, doesn't it? People were in the chains of slavery. They were freed from those chains, but then they were given principles again. You might feel cheated. If you're going to free us, why bind us again? But these principles are different. These principles don't kill us. They give us life. Think about a kite flying in the sky. What about the string? Without this string, wouldn't it fly higher? Doesn't this string pull me down and limit me? But what happens when the string breaks? The kite falls. What happens when you pull the string? Because of air resistance, it actually rises higher. The kite lives because of the string. Same with principles. The string of principles doesn't oppress us. It gives us life. Same with prayer. Is it hard to wake up early? Is it uncomfortable to sit quietly and center yourself? Do you think you'd be freer without that time? That's an illusion. Without that time, we lose direction. When we're attached to that time, we find our center. Same with family. Teenagers want to leave home. They think they'll be free if they leave. They think they'll have everything. But the moment that family connection breaks, they become isolated. They lose real freedom. They lose their protection. We have various connections. These are strings that give us life, never strings that kill us. The principles of the 10 Commandments give us life. Hold on to these strings well, and you'll live. You'll become a rising life. Now let's look at the 10 Commandments, one by one. The first commandment, you shall have no other gods before me. Depend on one thing. Look at Israel, not a strong nation compared to neighbors, not a rich nation, not a populous nation. But what about now? Babylon is gone. Assyria is gone. Rome is gone. All disappeared. But Israel stands again today. How is this possible? Because they held on to one thing. When we're weak, real strength appears. There was a person suffering from serious illness. Had major surgeries multiple times, dialysis 3 times a week, but attended a 40-day prayer meeting every single day. How is that possible? Even healthy people don't show up. This is the power principles give. You don't have to be strong. Even if you're weak and lacking, you just need to thoroughly depend on one thing. There's an easy trap to fall into in life. At first, we were weak, had no abilities, no credentials, no health. But someone used us. There were results. Then what attitude should we have? We should become more humble. But many people fall into an illusion. They think this way. When I was weak, I succeeded like this. So if I strengthen myself a bit more, how much more will I succeed? So somewhere in the middle, They make strange decisions. They say they'll prepare more. They'll arm themselves more. And they completely collapse, more than you'd think. Of those who initially succeeded, almost 2/3 fall this way. External temptations don't come. They fall through internal pride. Living meaningfully our whole lives is a blessing. Weak and lacking, but thoroughly depending on one thing to live, is a blessing. What's the greatest ability every moment? Depending, and depending again. That's ability. That's the first commandment. Hold on to one thing and live. The second commandment, don't make idols. What's an idol? An idol is self-love, taking the desire inside yourself and projecting it outward. That's an idol. If there's adultery inside me, I create a lustful God. If there's greed inside me, I create a God of greed. Under the pretense of serving God, I'm fulfilling my own desires. What's the characteristic of idols? They're not real. They're made from inside your own mind. You need to meet the real thing. When standing before truth, you must stand with your real self, not as a perfect person, but as a lacking person, not as a healthy person, but as a weak person. Don't create fakes. Meet the real thing. Same with people. A truthful person also loves well. There's a poet's story. A man loved a woman deeply, but there was a problem. He didn't love her as she really was. In his imagination, he loved an idealized image. She wasn't pretty, but he'd say my pretty one. She wasn't perfect, but he'd say my perfect one. She wasn't noble, but he'd say my noble one. He kept saying these things. The woman receiving these words felt burdened because it wasn't really her. He didn't love her. He loved the imaginary image. Eventually, she didn't have confidence to meet him because it wasn't really me. Is this love? Love is seeing the real person. You must accept the real person. If they have a quick temper, accept the quick temper. If they make many mistakes, accept the many mistakes. You must embrace them. That's love. Life and love are messy because messy people met each other, embracing each other's mess and holding hands toward a better version. That's love. Thinking that love is the union of perfect and perfect, that's an illusion. A truthful person is realistic when living in this world. They never create fakes. Don't try to meet someone who doesn't exist. Perfect and handsome and capable and faithful and sacrificial and gentle and humorous and beautiful smile. That person doesn't exist. Look at reality. That person doesn't exist in the world. When you accept as they are, relationships become possible. Same with faith. Many people do faith like idols. They serve a God they created. They serve a God they projected their desires onto. A God who gives blessings. A God who does what I want. A God who gives me what I want. That's not the real thing. The real thing sometimes causes pain, sometimes makes you wait, sometimes acts differently from my will. You need to meet that truth, not the image I created, but the actual reality. The second commandment, don't make idols, accept as they are. Meet the real thing. The third commandment, don't misuse the holy name. What's the typical way of misusing it? Swearing oaths. Some people swear oaths a lot. At every turn, I swear. Borrowing the holy name to add their own authority. The more someone swears, the stronger their own will. When speaking truth, no oath is needed. Truth is just proclaimed as truth. They swear because people don't believe their words. I swear, this is real. It's an attitude of pushing through their own will. Don't use the holy name to fulfill your own desires. While living on this earth, don't carelessly invoke truth. Just say, I'll pray and seek truth. Don't invoke the holy name, saying this is right or wrong. If it's right, say it's right. If not, say it's not. Live honestly and simply. That's the desired path. Especially people of faith need to be careful. Borrowing the holy name to push through their own will. When I prayed, I got this answer. Really? Did you really get that answer? Or is that your thought? Answers don't come easily. Don't mistake what you want for what truth wants. Don't try to manipulate others with the holy name. Don't give others guilt with the holy name. That's breaking the third commandment. If it's right, say it's right. If not, say it's not. Just speak honestly. This is my thought. Say it like that. Don't drag truth into it. The fourth commandment. Keep the Sabbath day holy. What's scariest when living on this earth? Addiction. Addiction is something you can't quit, regardless of your will. Easy to enter, but impossible to quit. Alcohol addiction, drug addiction, success addiction, work addiction, money addiction. Addiction makes you obsessed. Obsession can't be controlled. The Sabbath makes us learn control. The Sabbath means break free from work addiction. We always try to work hard. If we keep working, we fall into work. Work becomes everything in our life. At that time, rest. Put it down. Break free from addiction. People who rest are never work addicts because they can put work down, so they're free. You must put it down. That's what Sabbath is. Not just working, but putting it down. Same with studying. Many people become study addicts. Always study, study, study. They know nothing but studying. Studying is everything in their life. They can't do anything else. You must put it down. What's real strength? Win when you want to win. Lose when you want to lose. The ability to control the outcome. That's strength. Someone addicted must always win. Success addiction must always be number one. If they come in second, their world collapses. That's not mentally healthy. That's addiction. Real strength isn't winning every time. Win when you should win, but know how to lose when you should lose. That's strength. Addiction means you can't control yourself. Sabbath makes us learn control. People who rest are never addicts because they can put it down. They're free. Giving the first fruits is the same. A farmer works really hard from spring to fall. Each grain of rice is like a child. The joy of harvest. Those who haven't experienced it don't know. So precious. But ancient people gave the best. The most precious first fruits first. What emotion does that bring? It's the most precious thing. They poured love and affection into it, but they cut it off and gave it first. People who can give first fruits are never enslaved to it, never addicted. People who can share their first paycheck are never addicted to material things. When you can do something, when you can let go, that's when freedom comes. Keep the Sabbath. Be free from addiction. Don't be obsessed. Obsession destroys us. Obsession isn't healthy. Put it down and acknowledge your limits. Then you'll enjoy true freedom. From the 5th to 10th commandments are about human relationships. The 5th commandment, honor your father and mother. Life isn't a vacuum. It bears fruit in relationships. The most important thing for building good relationships is the primary relationship. The primary relationship is with parents. There was a person. They kept having conflicts with people, couldn't care for people. Why such bad human relationships? Turns out the relationship with parents wasn't good. Some people's parents divorced. Some people had a parent leave them. Some people said their family was unhappy. Some hadn't contacted parents for over 10 years. Didn't visit even on holidays. The relationship with parents was terrible. But they visited once. Parent-child relationships, no matter how broken, can restore instantly. Visiting mother and hugging her, saying, "I love you, Mom." All the bitterness from over 10 years dissolved. Saying, "I missed you, Dad." Father shed tears with just those words. Everything restored. After returning, how they treated people completely changed. They understood other people's hearts. They became someone who could embrace more people's pain. The primary relationship, if the relationship with parents isn't smooth, all relationships break. Primary relationships are that important. Look at people who honor their parents. Good relationships. On the other hand, look at people who disrespect parents. They always betray. They always cause problems. Someone who doesn't listen to parents, who will they listen to? People who honor their parents are important because all relationships start there. The Bible says if you honor parents, you'll do well and live long on earth. Of course, money isn't our problem. Human relationships accomplish everything. Business is human relationships. Work is human relationships. Everything is human relationships. If your relationship with parents is good, human relationships become good. So you can't help but do well on earth. Let's be people with good human relationships. Then everything goes well. To be a person with good human relationships You must honor your parents. That person can't help but have all relationships improve. You'll live long on earth. What's the reason? Because your heart is at peace. Is anyone's heart at peace while dishonoring parents? Looking at the rate of people quitting jobs, low salary isn't number one. They leave because human relationships are uncomfortable. Human relationships are that important. The beginning of human relationship. The start is honoring parents. The relationship with parents. Build a good relationship with your parents. Always honor them. That's the path that gives us life. The sixth commandment. You shall not murder. Murder is connected to anger. Jesus said this. You have heard that it was said to those of old, you shall not murder, and whoever murders will be liable to judgment. But I say to you, that everyone who is angry with his brother will be liable to judgment. Whoever insults his brother will be in danger, and whoever says you fool will be in even more danger. Don't curse people while angry. When you get angry, who loses most? Yourself? The moment you get angry, you harm yourself. When angry, bad substances are released in the body. Stress hormones are secreted. When angry, who gets hurt first? I get hurt. I break down first. Anger tells your own state. Have you seen a private in the army get angry? Privates don't get angry because they think they're the lowest rank. There's no one lower than them because they know they're nothing. Privates don't get angry. What would a private get angry about? Privates only say, yes, sir, and obey. When do they start getting angry? Around the time they become a sergeant, they get angry. Who am I? How much experience do I have? How much do I know? Look carefully. At some point, a humble person suddenly gets angry a lot, gets furious a lot. They became proud. Only they don't know. Have you gotten angry a lot recently? Have you gotten angry a lot in the past few days? You've become proud now. Privates don't know how to get angry. I'm nothing before God, but you called me and gave me an opportunity. Just being able to handle this work is such great grace. People like this don't have anger. People who think, who am I? Have anger from feeling slighted. I'm such an amazing person. Why don't they recognize me? That's why they get angry. Anger is another form of pride. When you're angry, think your spiritual state is bad and know how to become humble. The seventh and eighth commandments are, you shall not commit adultery. You shall not steal. Both have the same context. Not recognizing others' value. That's committing adultery. That's stealing. They don't think about others, only think about themselves. Don't recognize others' value at all. That's adultery. And that's theft. I saw a movie once. Friends betraying each other. One person played the villain. He loved his family very much. Seeing how much you loved his family made you think this person is human too. But that person had a characteristic. Zero sense about other people's happiness. Tender heart for his family, but didn't care if others died. That's an evil person. The logic of evil people. What's an evil person? Someone numb to others' pain. That's an evil person. Even someone who seems successful in society can be evil. Zero feeling about others' suffering. Then they're evil. No matter how much they smile, they're evil. Their heart is evil. Even sitting still, if others' pain transmits to me intensely, that person can't become evil. If you stab me with a knife, it hurts. Everyone knows that hurts. But if you stab someone else, it doesn't hurt at all. Zero feeling. That shows signs of evil. But if you can't bring yourself to stab, that person isn't evil because others' pain comes to them. Not many people can kill someone. Do you know why they can't kill? If the victim's pain is felt in your heart, that person absolutely cannot kill. But if they can't feel it, they kill. Recently, there was horrific crime news. Have you heard of psychopath? Psychopath. Antisocial personality disorder. What's the characteristic of psychopaths? They have sense about themselves. But throughout life, they completely can't feel others' rights, others' happiness, others' pain, others' feelings. That's how they commit crimes. If killing one person makes them tremble and suffer, how could they continue? But they feel nothing. They do it with no feeling. What does this passage give us? What do the seventh and eighth commandments give us? Live with feeling. Feel pain. Live with an empathetic heart. Then how could you live like this? This is obvious. It's about the heart. Have a good heart. That's faith. The law transcends the law. This speaks of the change of our mindset in the spirit. Then we can live according to this word. The 9th commandment. You shall not bear false witness against your neighbor, lying for your own benefit. This brings severe personal destruction. Destruction of trust. Nothing is more evil than lying. Malicious lying. There are various types of lies. Some lies are work-related. Lies for work, for success. This is also bad, but at least it happens in society. More dangerous are lies that destroy relationships, lies that tear down character. This doesn't seem to cause big social problems, but has terrible effects on human relationships. Why do people lie? Because they want relationships, but don't know the method. They want to become real friends, but don't know how. So they create secrets. They think sharing secrets makes you close. People consider friends who share secrets special, so they pull out their trump card, the secret card. They don't share secrets with just anyone. Secrets are shared with closest people. If you can share secrets, that's a real friend. If you don't share secrets, that's not a close friend. You must be able to share secrets. But the problem is, people don't have many secrets. If there are no secrets, what do? They create secrets. They create secrets with lies, not real ones. They share the created secrets. Since it's only 2 people, it works. But they don't know that friend has another friend to share secrets with. So they share secrets again. After going around a few times, everything gets exposed. Then this becomes a lie. Then this becomes a social problem and human relationship problem. Everything breaks. More people than you'd think have this disorder. Some people should keep things secret, but talk about it everywhere. They talk meeting this person and that person. At first, they're sincere people. You really had a hard time. You had so much pain. I'll comfort you. They say that. But later you find out they do this with everyone they meet. Why? That person has a slight emotional problem. They can't build human relationships, except through sharing secrets. So they create secrets. They invent them. They keep creating them. All lies. So looking back, such people's human relationships break. Then they can't stay in that community, so they go somewhere else. Going somewhere else, at first they get lots of attention. Sharing secrets makes them close quickly, but when people realize it's not real, they leave there too. This becomes a problem. Lying isn't good. This is the same context. You must definitely think about how your neighbor falls and breaks through lies. The 9th commandment. Don't bear false witness. If it's right, say right. If not, say not. If it exists, say exists. If not, say not. No need to say things that harm and hurt others. That's the spirit of the 9th commandment. We're people who stand in truth, not people who create lies. Don't forget and live truthfully. The last 10th commandment. You shall not covet your neighbor's wife. You shall not covet your neighbor's house, or field, or male servant, or female servant, or ox, or donkey, or anything that belongs to your neighbor. Expressing this in today's terms, don't desire unearned income. Don't be greedy for things beyond what you earned through work. This is greed. And greed is this. Greed is wanting to get more than you worked for, trying to get what you didn't work for. That's greed. Like lottery tickets. Psychology of stealing from others. Don't do that. What does this mean? If you want to earn money, work hard. Earn what you need. If you want more, work harder. Who criticizes that? But not working yet wanting to have a lot. That's greed. Never do that. What should we have on this earth? A content heart. If you have a content heart, there's great benefit. If you keep being greedy, trying to get more than you worked for, from that point, it becomes the root of all evil and makes us fall into deception. Work hard. Get the reward for your work and be satisfied. That's the spirit of the 10th commandment. The last commandment. Let me conclude. Israel had a first generation and a second generation. The first generation had all the conditions. They abandoned principles and collapsed. The second generation had terrible conditions. They held on to principles and won. So which side should we choose? The second generation. No matter how poor and difficult, if you hold on to principles, you win. Principles seem uncomfortable like a string right now. seem like rules, but those rules are life-giving rules. And that string is a string that leads me to life. The 10 Commandments aren't for binding us, but principles that give us life. Hold on to those principles. Win with the spirit of principles. Right now, in this moment, that string is placed in your hand. Hold it.